And switching to the MLB, we haven't talked about the MLB very often, but the Dodgers and the Houston Astros played their first game of a two-game series at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Dodgers won 9-2. It's only fitting that the first game that the Dodgers and the Astros played against each other with fans in the stands, Clayton Kershaw was a starting pitcher. He got the starting nod yesterday, and he pitched a gem. 7 2/3 innings, only gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. And when the Dodgers played the Houston Astros last year, they did go to Minute Maid Park, and they swept that series. They won all 3 games, but there weren't any fans in the stands. So all that vitriol was still kind of percolating. And when you have fans in there, it obviously helps embellish everything and build up that animosity that these teams share for one another. And so now you fast forward to this year, and the Dodgers have been on a roller coaster of a season. They finally have refound their mojo, their offensive mojo. Of course, they started 13-2 to start the season, and then all of a sudden they're 18-17. They had lost 15 games in the same month. This was probably the worst stretch of baseball they've played since before 2013. In 9 years, this was the worst stretch of baseball they've played. That's how dominant and consistently great they've been. I mean, this team had been the winningest team in MLB since 2013. And now they're looking to sweep their third straight series in a row. Swept the Diamondbacks. They swept the red hot Giants. And now looking to sweep the Houston Astros. They've won 8 straight games, looking to make it 9 straight and sweep their third straight team tonight against the Houston Astros. But we all know that the bad blood exists because of the cheating scandal. Houston Astros are cheaters. They cheated their way through the sign stealing scandal to a 2017 World Series and then absconded with the trophy. We know that. That's what happened. Right? They illegally placed cameras to capture the signs from the catcher, and then they utilized the trash bins to communicate what pitch was about to come at home in the home games. Now, the significance behind this win yesterday was twofold. One, it was significant to me that this was the first time that the Dodgers were back in the stadium with fans in attendance, and the Dodgers fans made themselves known. I think that's significant. The second significant point is that Clayton Kershaw was the pitcher. That Clayton Kershaw not only was the pitcher, he pitched well, and he received the win. Because I think there were a lot of demons going on in his head, and to be honest, in the head of Yu Darvish as well, but he's no longer a Dodger, so I'm not going to talk about him. Because when you look at that game 5 in particular, game in the 2017 World Series, right? Astros won 13-12 in the 10th inning, and it was an incredible game from a baseball fan's perspective. Unbelievable. Now we know why there was so many runs scored by the Houston Astros. Clayton Kershaw in that game went about 4 and a third innings, gave up 6 earned runs, 2 home runs. He threw 50 curveballs in that game. Houston Astros players swung at 0 of them. His most lethal pitch. Astros didn't even attempt to swing at 1 curveball. So I think psychologically, this was huge for the Dodgers. I think that psychologically, this kind of provides some semblance of closure from that dark past, from that history. And so this was a major win for the Dodgers for specifically that reason, to close that dark chapter of their past and to really provide that culture, now that closure. Now that you had fans in the stadium, it offered that opportunity to do that.